Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Angela, and we're coming to you from the greater Chicagoland area.
Hi, I'm Lou.
And I'm Dee.
And we're from Cleveland, Ohio.
Join us as we taste a variety of fun wines.
On Friday nights.
This Friday, we will be tasting 2 rosés, Apothic and Chateau Saint Michel.
We're starting out with the Apothic Rosé. 2018. We have ours sitting on ice to keep them cool.
We have ours in these little ice packs.
Oh, cool.
Especially for wine. I think I got them at Amazon. I'll have to check on that. Check the comments.
I was thinking all week, but I wasn't looking forward to this because I don't know rosés at all, and I'm not a fan, and I'm hoping to become a fan. So this is my opportunity. We did a little research. We got some wines.
So what are your first impressions of the aroma?
It sat in the glass for a while. That was good. There's a lot in there, but not something I'm used to.
Well, it was like 85 degrees today in Northeast Ohio, so sun was shining. It's still kind of warm and
Perfect way to start the rosés.
Yeah.
So it's very fruity.
Summer.
I smell like strawberries, raspberries. Those are the scents I'm picking up.
Yes, strawberry.
Yeah, I get the raspberry. Very light, like a fruit, but light fruit.
Yeah, I pick out the strawberry in it.
As opposed to everything else we've tasted so far, is dark fruit.
Right.
From a color perspective, you guys got it there.
Salmon-y color.
Like,
Probably a good way to describe it, salmon color.
I don't have any legs at all.
No,
So-
I would agree with that. It's a very light wine.
Nice summer wine.
What are you picking up on the taste, Chris?
So again, and it's probably because I read strawberry a lot, but I picked the strawberry up, and then it could have been I don't know, like a fresh cut straw. I don't want to say fresh cut, but like a straw that's been cut. It's dried, but it's not hasn't been sitting. It's not mildewy. It's not. It's like still got the fresh.
So if we were out at a farm somewhere,
Yeah.
Aromas of the farm is kind of what you would.
At the barnyard.
At the barnyard, no.
It's
At
like
the
the
barnyard.
strawberry picking process where there's straw.
Yeah, the straw on the ground.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good analogy.
Oh, I'm thinking that maybe the acid content's a little low. What do you think, Chris?
Definitely, it doesn't have the bite that I was expecting, especially for a lighter wine.
So Apothic wines are a brand from Ernest and Julio Gallo Winery. And this 2018 Wine Enthusiast gave it 86 points on their scale.
Yeah, I think the aroma's good. Has a good fruity flavor. Just maybe missed it a little bit on the acid. I was expecting a little more acidity.
It's not a bad idea, just the acid if you can. With this dark of grapes or dark of blends that Apothic works with, I wouldn't be surprised if they took a lot of juice off to make this so that they could be more concentrated on the skins as they're fermenting.
Oh, one of the ways to make rosé is exactly what you just described, and that style is
The Sangye method, or bleeding off. Now we didn't find that information how Apothic what method they actually use for their rosés, but yes, that is one of the methods in making rosé wines. The idea is you're starting to make a red wine, and early on in the process, you bleed off some of that juice separately, and what it leaves is like a higher ratio of skins to juice content to make a more concentrated red wine. And then what you bled off, you would vinify into a rosé. I don't believe these wines that we're tasting tonight are done by that method, but it's an interesting method.
But knowing what Apothic makes,
That's true, but it's possible.
this makes sense.
Yeah.
Take some off the top, pull it aside. Do you guys know any other methods of how to make rosés? Because I don't know much about them.
So you mentioned earlier about either pressing, immediate pressing, or like a limited maceration, where the juice will be in the contact with the skins of the grapes for a short amount of time. So that's the other method.
That seems wasteful to the skins. I would hate to do that to those poor skins.
And from what I've researched, it's the most popular method. And then the third method is blending, where you take a red wine and a white wine and you blend a rosé that way.
I did make an appetizer, a little hors d'oeuvre of a crostini with ricotta cheese. So it's crostini with ricotta cheese with some lemon zest, and there's a little sprinkle of crushed red peppercorns, and the little red peppercorn gives a little, pepper too. It's a milder, it's not super spicy pepper.
So I just had one, and because the wine, like we said earlier, doesn't have its own bite from its lack of acidity, the pepper in the crostini complements it very well.
That sounds excellent.
We have some strawberries, we got some watermelon up front, some strawberries, some cherries, some different chocolates, some cheeses, some crackers up front. 2 glasses of water. It is really hot out.
So another pairing I did tonight, not specifically for, just I guess for rosés in general, it was suggested like milder cheeses, fresh cheeses like a burrata, fresh mozzarella. So I made some appetizers of, it's like a little caprese salad on a stick.
So it's
That sounds awesome.
cherry tomatoes, mozzarella, basil with
Balsamic glaze.
balsamic glaze.
I looked at on the website, it didn't have any recommendations for pairings, and I was hard pressed to find suggestions for the apothic. And I was laughing. I finally found one, and it said cheese, and that's all it said. So
Can't go wrong with cheese.
no, you can't, absolutely not. But I think we came up with a couple better ideas.
The end of the
No,
day,
these
great job.
the pepper with the crostini and balsamic glaze, excellent, very good.
Another cheese we have is, instead of that Bellabitano Merlot cheese.
Oh, you didn't change, did you?
I finally found it, DA.
You did? Awesome. Good, it's represented again. No, so tonight I actually got a Bellabitano Chardonnay cheese.
Oh,
Something different. Did you try it?
I did.
It's a little more tangier, isn't it? Which, maybe with this fruity wine.
Yeah, the saltiness, the sharpness of it goes well.
Mm-hmm.
I really struggle. I want a wine that's gonna punch you in the mouth with flavor, and the rosé is subtle. You really have to work. I think if we worked with our pairings, like you were saying, D, like your pairing, or maybe we had the salad, it'd bring a lot more out of the wine. But I think the tastes, the flavors are more subtle to me.
I'll be really curious to see how the next one goes with the Chateau Saint Michel, because it's a Syrah and Merlot blend. So, and the pH, and we know the pH of that one.
We
Which
do.
I'll quiz you on later, Chris.
It would be nice to be able to compare that one. If we knew what the pH of the apothic was. And I actually found some notes on the blend of this grape, but it was just on a website that tastes wine, so I don't know how they found out. They're saying it is a Cab Zin rosé.
Yeah, Cabernet.
Percentage, and there's a lot missing from the description.
Hey, I can go get my pH meter. We can
There
see
you
what.
go.
So right now the pH settled in at 3.06.
3.06.
So based on that number, I would have thought that it would have tasted more acidic.
Yeah, I agree. Typically with our reds, where are we at with our reds? What pHs are we hitting with red?
3.5, roughly 3.5, 3.6. So yeah, this is definitely in white wine territory as far as pH goes, and it makes me wonder if there's some residual sweetness that we're not tasting that's balancing out the acidity.
I know with our other wine, spoiler, our other wine has a little residual sugar. I couldn't find the information on whether there's residual sugar in here, and I would assume that there is. But especially
There must be. otherwise it'd be more acidic than what we're
Right.
tasting.
And I think the alcohol would be higher. So the alcohol I saw in two different places is one is 12.5, and then one is 13. And it then depend where you look on the line. And again, you get a little bit different answer.
And it could be right. It could be
Plus or minus 1.5.
You said that there's a variance on the when they say this is what our alcohol is. There's a variance allowable.
Yeah, under 14, plus or minus 1.5.
I never knew that. Never knew you could have a variance on the alcohol. Just a word of the wise. We have some chocolate, and I tried a little chocolate with it, and it really brought out a little more of the spice in the wine, and I liked it more with the chocolate. So if you get a chance, you guys
Is
have
it a dark chocolate or a milk chocolate or?
That's the dark Australian chocolate that I got.
Dark Aussie. Very nice. Nice, mate.
So now we're going to move on to our next wine, Chateau Saint Michel from Washington State, Columbia Valley.
I got
This is a
a
lot
little
lighter.
bit lighter. Yeah, I was gonna say a little bit lighter. And then
Oh, definitely.
little salmon, and I'm getting little cute little bubbles in there. I wonder if it's going to be
Yours bubbles?
effervescent. I don't know if it's going to show up or not on the palate, but we got some
We have
bubbles.
like little bubbles in our glass.
So I'm
Like-
smelling citrus. I'm smelling citrus with this one. The aromas, the aroma's a lot different.
No, it still has strong, like a fruit.
Red fruit, yeah, but
breadfruit,
I'm
yeah.
I'm smelling more citrusy,
It is more,
I'm less fruit.
like lemons.
strawberry.
It's definitely a lot different than the Apothic, and I would.
Yeah.
It's early. It's my first sip, but I'm liking this one a lot better.
It is definitely more acidic.
Angie, what do you have on your cracker there?
I have a big goat cheese.
Big goat cheese. We have a goat cheese with strawberries.
I thought maybe the goat cheese would stand up to this. This would stand up to the goat cheese a little because it's got such a strong flavor.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Chris mentioned that he likes wine the way he likes his women,
Nicely
I
aged.
don't remember what it was.
and you can see Angie kind of holding it in over there. He just wants to punch him. Huh?
Full bodied. Nicely aged.
Well aged, well preserved.
Voluptuous tasting, the kind that just linger with you for hours.
Chris, we just grow old with our wine, don't we?
We keep getting better.
You have the PDF one? So we have found some more interesting facts about the Chateau Saint Michel. Actually, check on we'll post them in our comments. There's actually to the Chateau Saint Michel website. They have an interesting history and their winery, and also lots of good facts pertaining to their rosé.
So the Chateau Saint Michel is 72% Syrah, 28% Merlot. Alcohol content very similar to the Apothic at 12.5%. They publish a residual sugar, 0.31 grams per 100 milliliter. Not a lot, but it's there.
It's interesting that you can still taste the acid with the residual sugar.
Yes.
So here they give us both a pH, which is 3.34. Again, right around the same pH range as you would typically find in a white wine. They left the juice on the skins for 4 hours.
Wow.
So that's what gives it its light pinkish hue. So out of these two wines, I got to say this Chateau Saint Michel is my favorite.
I agree. I'll tell you right now, I did try the chocolate with it, and the chocolate didn't have the same impact with the Apothic as with the Apothic. I like chocolate and the Apothic, which is interesting in that perspective. But I agree wholeheartedly with you, Lou. I'm much more enamored with this Chateau Saint Michel.
Yeah.
Did I say that okay? Because you know French. I'm the Spanish guy. We're gonna have to do Spanish wines so I can
Rioja.
flaunt my skills for left thereof. But I think, again, I know this is my weak spot. I don't taste these well. I haven't tasted a lot of them. What I picked up is you need to be very specific with your pairings on your rosés, because they're much more finicky about what you pair them with, whether you're going to bring out flavors or mask them over. So I think we found some good stuff here to pair, and you had some really intriguing ideas on your side that to bring out the flavors and not so to drown them out because they're so delicate. So we had finished up a little bit of our conversation, and I had said I was not a fan of the Apothic, and if I had to pick something, again, I think the Chateau Saint Michel was much more around my flavor range. And Angie mentioned, like, well, maybe if you take it to the beach, or maybe I wouldn't
In a
pick
plastic container.
I would not pick it to drink. There's so many other things that I want to pick than that one. So that's my opinion. And again, we'll talk about our flavor ranges and what we like and what we tend to go toward. But I was really surprised with the Chateau Saint Michel, and I think the Effervescence brought a little bit more of the punch in the mouth that I like. Zing that I'd like to see in my wines.
And I went back to the Apothic, and I was pleasantly surprised about the Apothic Rosé because I wasn't too sure. But then after having the Chateau Saint Michel, I'm not as big of a fan of the Apothic. So have the Apothic alone.
It's a short finish. Like, I think the Saint Michel has more to it. I mean, I feel like it's still tasty.
You still taste it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's not a thick wine where it would coat your mouth, but it's got those flavors that pleasantly linger.
It's the Merlot.
It's the Syrah.
It's the Syrah, yeah.
I know. I just said that. Fighting for the Merlot grape.
The Apothic and the Chateau Saint Michel, they're both good wines in their own respects. And what do you think? They both qualify for our Variety Fun Wines?
Absolutely. Fun wines?
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Clink, 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 clink.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Next time.